I'ma need all the fashion, you know, all the hot sauce, all the passion, you know. Better be all in it, no heavy in the middle. Better be all you can hide in it.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the playthrough. It's raining, and I'm feeling a little bit dejected. It's one of those days where I just didn't really feel like working or doing anything, so this is the first, I suppose, little bit of work I'm doing today at a brisk and nice 7:47 a.m. Haven't made any mashups, haven't touched the channel really all day. You know, I tried to do a little bit of laundry, but then I realized I needed the laundry detergent, so I went out and got that, and then, grandparents decided to help me out with it. So it's a wonderful thing sometimes when you can just really have a lazy mental health day, because I feel like I really needed it. I just haven't really been feeling too great. We have today, though. We did lurk on streams. We did chat, and I don't usually do that, and I realized that's probably because I had neglected chatting on these to you guys for a little bit. But yes, today we're talking about info while we do more of this Abyss, because I actually haven't done the Abyss in a while, strangely enough. I'm playing as the Death Master 2, so I hope you guys enjoy that gameplay. Our cosplay of the day is indeed the old school Rosie Bell move. If you guys have been watching Rosie for a couple years now, you should know this outfit. And yeah, without further ado, I suppose we'll get into the topics of discussion of today. As you can see by the title, we're talking about tools, and the greatest tool of all time, the greatest tool that will lead you to prosperity every time, is, of course, yes, it is information. Information, just simply thinking you know. And that's the thing, guys. It's not actually knowing, it's thinking that you do know. And also the drive to get more information. And this is where a lot of people go wrong, because they think that the information that you're gonna get and you're gonna have is gonna be something that you're constantly looking for outside of yourself or trying to figure out, which is not necessarily the goal, See, the information, when I say it is a tool, I mean it's used for action. You can't just simply let the information be your end-all be-all. That's like playing this game just for getting levels instead of playing this game to fight battles better. Also, I noticed my mouse is on the screen. That's gonna bother me the whole time, so I hope I move that. Oh my goodness, I hope I move that, but I don't think I'm gonna. I think the mouse is just gonna be chilling with us here, so I hope you guys don't see it. I know since I've said it, you do see it. I've said it, it's been seen, it's been discovered. Hopefully I move that, who knows. This is pretty old footage, honestly, so you'll forgive me, right? You'll forgive me. I don't even need to apologize. You already forgive me. You're watching the video, you're here, we're gonna get past the formalities and just move on with it. But yeah, we're doing all of it. It was fever time at the time, and just to give a quick little overview of what fever time is when you're fighting these super bosses, fever time just gets you double the rewards for beating it. So you get 2 of the little lacrimons, to get your accessories at the end. Also, I hope you guys enjoy this rain ambience. I sure am. It's actually quite nice to be H. It's been raining all day. It's also super hot, so it's nice that the rain is sort of cooling down the house. I don't really need the AC on too much all day, although it has been on pretty much all day. But yeah, sadly I did get caught in it today, though, during the rain when I had to go out and get the detergents. It is what it is, but to get back to our topics at hand, you got to know what you need to survive. And I think for me to survive, I just need to keep moving forward, really. And getting back to that, moving forward is something that you informationally need to lock in on. And I think the when I say the greatest tool is information, I'm talking about like learning of self, not necessarily of finding out all the details about your enemies, your friends, or your career, or your job, or whatever. It's learning what you need. And for me, what I need is an objective every day. What I need is a goal to strive towards. What I need is a plan, a structure, a system, something to lock in and check off every day. And for me, that has been the gym. I actually don't skip days in the gym. I do 6 miles a day every day, and then I do push-ups. So I'm trying to get up to 300 a day, but it's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit difficult, and I hate that word too, so I'm gonna attempt to stop saying it as well. The word try. Fuck trying. We're getting to 300 push-ups daily. I mean, it's just a matter of time, really, as long as I keep consistent with it. So consistently just, whenever I can, loading screens, loading up streams, waiting on things, listening to podcasts. I'm just working out in the background, which is why I love videos like this. I know a lot of people would call this slop content. I try my best to sort of push the idea out of my mind that I am indeed making slop content whenever I hear people chat about it. But this is the stuff that I would listen to. I feel like I mostly just listen to slop content. People playing video games and providing commentary over it, or they're talking about their stories, even without a video game, just sitting in their car or whatever. I really do watch a lot of videos like this, so which is why I make them. I feel like it provides value to somebody, and hopefully the somebody that it provides value to is somebody that's similar to me, who doesn't just get value from saying, this is trash, I'm gonna make something better, and instead, gets value in a way that's both productive and supportive. But I realize that that's not really the way that everyone gets supported, me included. Sometimes I need that tough love. Sometimes I need that this is so terrible that I need to make my own thing to counteract it. Sometimes I do need that energy, and sometimes I do give that energy without even wanting to. But it is what it is. This is the thing that you need to do to truly learn about yourself. You need to learn what your habits are, what your tendencies are, where your heart truly lies. Is it for the money? Is it for the love? Is it for the respect? Where do your intentions lie? And no, you don't have to explicitly state these or show them or come into my comment section and say, I'm here for this reason. I'm not saying you got to do that, but you have to know it for yourself. And the crazy thing about this self-learning process is that it's a never-ending story, man. I feel like I could go on for platitudes and platitudes about how I know things about myself, but I'm still learning things every day. And the more I learn about myself, the more I realize that I just don't know it all. Like there's just no way to know it all. And it's very frustrating when I feel like I'm just constantly climbing the stairway to heaven and there's no real tangible reward. And I know a lot of you guys can feel this, especially nowadays with the entire internet and the culture around progression and growth and the whole, what is it called, self-improvement mindset, grind set. Of course that I do have themes of on this channel, but I've sort of grown away from that. We're in our acceptance era where it's just like I've grown the skill of making these videos so much, and I mean, not to say it in a bad way, but I really have nothing else left in my life. Intentionally, I've cut it out. I'm not one of those people that, is like, oh, I've lost every turn and I have to go to YouTube. No, I still have plenty of options. YouTube is just the option that makes the most sense to me, and it's also the option that I haven't really tried to my fullest extent yet, which is weird because it's like I half-assed it a long time ago, and I feel like this is not a huge regret thing or whatever for me, but I feel like if I did go really ham on it in the past, things would just look different. And it's not like I'm like, oh no, I should have, and now I'm ruined my life, but I'm just noticing now that things can change from these small little videos on YouTube and stuff like that. And it is something that you really need to take stock of, especially if you are a bit of a pessimist like me. I tend to think that my words don't matter, that my life is unimportant, that my plights don't really matter as much as other people's or things like that are just silly thoughts. Everybody, including you, has merit to their problems, woes, successes, anything really. And you gotta realize that your voice needs to be heard, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be at the workplace, whether it be to your friends, your family. And that's what I'm slowly learning through YouTube. I've always been the quiet, reserved one until I get comfortable with you, and then I'm like, okay, well then I feel like I can say anything now. So it's like for good. But I've always been the quiet and reserved person. And I realize this is because I don't really like to converse about myself, and it's a defense mechanism. It's a defense mechanism because I realize, you know, sometimes when you talk about yourself, people aren't really fond of you. So what you need to realize is that the world, it's not too terrible of a place once you learn not about the world, but about yourself. It's like this Dragon Quest game, actually, guys. It's quite freaking similar because the thing is, you could spend, especially if you bought the game, and I'm sorry about that noise. I don't know if that sounded a little sexual to you, but that did to me when I was getting back into headphones. But you could spend years in version 1 and never move on with the story in the game, but you can learn every class. Yeah, I think so. You can learn most classes at least, except for the master classes maybe, but even still with the master classes, I think you can learn those too. You learn every class, you can get every, you know, little side objective done and learn all about your characters, and you would be way better off than somebody who just goes all the way to version 6 with one class. And not to say being better off is something that you necessarily need to be in this game, but just saying that becoming a better gamer doesn't matter, or better lifer, whatever you want to call it, you know, for this analogy specifically. Doesn't matter how far of a progress you are in life, or how deep you are invested into your successes, or whatever. It's all about how you learn about yourself, and that stuff is intangible. You can't really put a price tag on learning your own psyche. You can't really quantify how much you know about yourself, or how much you quantify about other people, even, you know, how much you know or understand them. And the sad thing is, even if we could, I swear to you, your significant other, your mom, your dad, your best friend, I swear to God, man, you probably know maybe a good 2% about them. And I'm dead serious. Your best friend, your greatest ally, you know, whoever it is, you just don't know them. I'm sorry, man. And this is the fact of life that we really have to get used to, and understand that people can change in an instant, and most likely they do, you know, and most likely will never take stock of why or how or what even happened. And that's something that we just have to come to terms with. We can't really fight that. We can't really go against the fact that people are people, and they are very variable, just like you. You are a very variable person. You are not set in stone, which is why I say you keep learning about yourself every day. And that's not a bad thing necessarily. Learning about yourself is going to be a great tool, you know, and a lot of people really misuse their tools. Of course, we have the greatest tool for destruction, the gun, the weapon, the bomb, that people misuse all the time, but it's also supposed to be used to protect. And you got to realize that you can protect yourself for the rest of your life with a haphazardly used tool of information of self, or you can grind that tool of yourself. You can put it to the brimstone. You can settle it over the fire, and you can become a good protector of what is right, of what is true, of what is righteous with your information. And that's all a choice. I know a lot of people feel like there's nothing left to protect in the world because it's all corrupted and bullshit, and I'm not necessarily going to disagree with you there. But the more we learn about ourselves, the more we learn that we do have things that we naturally care about, and we actually want to see in a comfortable position. You know? I feel like if you're in a doomer state, you really just got to learn about yourself. And the best way to learn about yourself is to just sit in silence. You know, everybody goes into this whole meditation bullshit, meditation, stationation, sleepination, automation. But that really is the way, guys. You got to understand that we are so overstimulated nowadays. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. And I get that stimulation is sometimes, you know, necessary to escape the rat race, to sort of unwind, but you got to realize when enough is enough, and you're never going to know when enough is enough if you never just stop. It's like, it should be obvious, right? Like if I was always at a theme park, if I was always at a theme park, and I was like, I'm never gonna leave this theme park. This theme park is my home. This theme park is my soul, my righteousness, my heart. And I suddenly start feeling sick at this theme park. But I've never left. Then I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know where I'm going with this analogy, honestly. But you gotta learn to leave the theme park eventually. Okay, that's the end of the analogy. God damn it, I don't know. The theme park is not really going to save you from the sickness. You just gotta try something different, you know? Because I know a lot of people, we really don't have time to stop because there's always new stuff. There's always new things getting thrown down the pipeline and tossed here and moved there, and you just got to know when enough is enough. I know a lot of people really struggle with this self-control thing. I think self-control is self-love. I think whatever you do for yourself that is generally made to help you, to sustain you, I think that is self-love in a lot of ways. Because it's a little funny to think about, but the world doesn't want you to be controlled. The world doesn't want you to love yourself. I want you to be in that state. And the State of the Union is to hate, the state of hate. Hate or confusion or fear is where they're trying to keep us. And I'm just here to tell you that there are other ways. There are other ways, and you're never going to know what those other ways are until you give yourself space to create them for you. Space to allow yourself to grow into the person that you know you're meant to be. But you have to give yourself space because, like I said, growth, it's not linear. It's very lateral. Just like in this game, you're not just gonna elevate straight to the top. And like I said, it's very ethereal too. So, you know, you could be super poor, you know, not where you want to be in life, or no friends, you know, no significant other, whatever you want to call it. You know, you can be in a loser state, quote unquote, and still be ahead in life because you've just taken the time to sit there by yourself and discover yourself. You've gained those inner levels, and once again, it's very ethereal, it's very invisible how, you know, we discover this stuff. And I suppose to end us off here, as we are on our last boss, I'll talk about one of the things I've discovered about myself that it's kind of scary to think about, but it's just me, you know. It's just how I am. It's just how I operate. So through just not talking to anybody and being silent in my phases of, you know, just chilling out and trying to make this channel into something that I'm really proud of, I've discovered that I really don't like saying hi to people. It like fucking irks me. And I realize this is not just like an internet thing, because I know on the internet, you know, when you hop in a stream, you automatically, like, there are redeems for highs, and you gotta hop in, you say hi to the chat or whatever. Some people do, but... And I realize that even in real life, I hate it so much. I hate it so much because I feel like it invites people to have like an 80-year-long conversation with me, and I don't really like talking in general. That's why I'm starting to make these podcast episodes, because a lot of people start a podcast because they talk too much, or, you know, they want to talk to somebody, they don't have anybody to talk to because they're just a super big yapper, or they want to get their ideas out. I literally started this podcast because I hate talking. I don't like talking to anybody. I don't like talking to the people that I love, the people that I hate, the people that I really want to talk to. It just brings me anxiety to talk to them, or if I'm saying the wrong thing, or if I'm offending, or, you know, if I'm imposing, because oftentimes people just annoy me and I never feel comfortable addressing that. I just kind of leave. I just kind of say, well, you're frustrating now, and the later and later I get into my life, the thinner and thinner my patience gets for things like that. And the thinner my patience has gotten for things like that, the more I realize that, yeah, I really don't give people a lot of grace for talking or chatting with me. And so I think and this is just me projecting, I think that they don't want to give me grace for talking with them because I'm that way. But that's just not the way everybody is, you know. And it's the small things like saying hello that I realized really trap people in a social relationship with you. It's the smallest act of kindness that you can really give to somebody, especially in real life, when you're like a passerby or you're like a stranger. But even when you are friends, saying hello is it's like a rite of passage essentially. It's like you um, growing in your friendship funds. And I don't even like to say it that way because that's kind of quantifying a friendship level, which you can't really do. I know we all talk about this concept of best friends, but I never really believed in it because, just in a matter of fact way, everybody leaves. You know, all relationships end, and of course you can have a best friend for the time, but I don't like to put even labels on that for a specific period of time because it puts the pressure on for you to commit, for you to perform, to keep your position, you know, position on lock, position locked on target. I must keep the best friend. Uh, and a lot of times this all comes from anxiety from what I've experienced in life. A lot of people leave, a lot of people come, a lot of people are very attached to the idea of having me around. And in general, it's all just gonna leave. You know, I know that sounds depressing, but it's true. We're all here to die. So I really try not to get attached to too much stuff. I know a lot of people might find that a bit morbid, but that's just where my mind's always gone. Whenever I start a relationship with somebody, I'm like, well, how far is this bullshit gonna go? And there are very few people that I actually see a long-term future with, and that's usually because I'm manipulated into it from some shit that they said, and then eventually you're just gonna take it back or do something weird to me or whatever, because of my neurodivergent mind and the way that I communicate, which is very different. And like I said, the hello is it's very annoying. It's very annoying to me. And that's one simple way that people try to game the system to get beneath people's skins, just by saying hello and hello and hello and constant hellos to get you cemented into their brain. It's just like religion. Religion in general is not the enemy, or the bad thing in life that we need to counteract or work against. Religion in general only works if you just see it repeatedly. So that's why a lot of crazy, stupid religions are actually co-opted and gone with, because people just repeat them because it's funny or because it's stupid. And now we have the spaghetti wizard religion or whatever the fuck. And that's really all you need. And once you realize that, because it doesn't really matter. You know, as long as you're there, as long as you are a repeated, a recurring character, you're gonna grow in love. Once you realize that fact, it just kind of, it sullies the experience for you a little bit. And I realized that at an early stage. And it's a little annoying when people try to game the system and cheat that shit. It's just like when guys figure out that, you know, you just shouldn't flirt with girls, you should just touch them. Kind of like how girls figured that out way earlier than guys. Have you ever had a girl that has a crush on you and she just pokes you all the time? Of course, she's like, she figured it out. She figured out the game plan, you know? And that's the thing, people. Once the magic is gone, the magic is gone. And the magic has been gone for me for a very long time in terms of introductions and hellos. And so that's one thing that I've learned about myself in particular. But that's what I mean, guys. You gotta learn that, and then because I've learned that about myself, I'm far ahead of a lot of other people who are just like, I don't know why I don't like saying hi to people, and they're just all surface level with it. But it's, for me, it's a little bit deeper. It goes into the manipulation tactics that I see constantly from day to day that I want to kind of counteract and be against. It's like, if I really want to be around you, if I really think you want to be around me, I don't want it to just be because of the proximity bias. I don't want it to just be because I've said, you know, I've grinded my hellos for 5 years. I want it to be because of me, and it's really hard. It's really hard to do. It's really hard to do. It's really hard to get somebody completely and utterly on your side. And I don't think that'll ever really happen, for me at least. I think people are always just bound to leave. But those are my thoughts. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. We're going to get more information about me, about the world, about anything, but I implore you to do your own research. Make your own details known, because that's all we have in this life. We have details, we have thoughts, we have concerns, and if we delve deeper into ourselves, we'll learn more how to, my grammar's going. I got to go. My grammar's shot. We'll learn how to be better people, okay? I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the supports and subscribes and everything. You're awesome. Have an amazing day. This has been me and Rosie Belmu. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you later.
Fly for the Dumbo, plenty flash like a shuffle. Educated for my young level, I educated for the